the general manager. The one was looking to do with their NHL the opening puck drop, and whether or not they can find more on them, either from the guys who are currently on this roster, or if they can take that cap space they have. He doesn't have any pressure on him at this point either. I think he got more in this season than anyone expected last year. But we'll see how it goes. Now let's look at their lineup. Jonathan Debro is a $10.5 million cap hit until 2031. The contract's not great, agreed. But he played well this season, 81 games, 28 goals, 13 goals, 24 assists, 39 points. I love Blake Coleman's game. I think he can get back to about 50-point mark. I'm kind of surprised he didn't. Yegor Sharangovich is a $5.75 million cap hit until 2030. He's played 73 games this past season, 17 goals, 15 assists, 32 points. And then on that floor, plenty of Brian Lawson. Lawson's going to bring, know what his game is, understanding he is a short one forward. Down the middle, it's Sam McCaffrey. $7 million cap hit until 2029, which, if they're trying to trade up to make teams that look at that cap hit and plenty of trade him in, of course, but for points right on the money. Caffrey, 82 games this past season, 35 goals, 32 assists, 67 points. So when you do find themselves in this regional still, there's a possibility back up the best available around, say, trade deadline. 76 games, 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points. Well, Backlund. Morgan Frost, a bit of a top adjustment for him to Calgary. 32 games, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. He has a $4.38 million cap hit until 2027. And Foster pulls on that corner line. Foster still, I think there's still a little bit of offensive potential there. That being said, on the fourth line, probably not going to get a ton of points. On the right side, yeah, Connor Barry is still in the circuit creation, so that's getting to get some of that money. It should need to do the top really. 54 games, 13 goals, 27 points. This season, but I don't know that it's necessarily 7 or 8 years extension. Territory that we're looking at from him, probably a break to go. Probably cap hit still in the front, probably tires in front, something to see here. And then for Adam, $1 cap hit, so it's up to 32. So it's 7 games, passes, 24 goals, 20 assists, 47 points. For Adam, so more than that, he's always about this season. Will Farabee, for all prospect unexpected transitions from Philly. Farabee punched the second 31 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. That's the great result again. He gets $5 million cap hit from 128. So Farabee could be looking to get back together right now. The training camp is in Calgary. And then on that fourth line, likely Flacca, although there is definitely some competition for that job. First one, we've had some pretty good season before going down with injury this past year. He will get every opportunity, I would think, to make this team. Always got on. The next one, Suniam is on that list as well. More than a better good game this past season. Contact, bonus for the graphic. Terrence is looking for the column and good to there as well. So there's some good guys up front. We've got some candidates for a full-time job here. 50 case, maybe a spot there, and then the forward. If he gets the move like Kevin Ball about 8, didn't he? $5.35 million cap hit until 2031. Good for him. 73 games, 3 goals, 17 assists, 20 points. It is nice to see that really minor spend when getting paid off. That is something that's nice to see. There was a time when basically your offense was 90% of the money. If your defense is the best, that's a nice target handshake and maybe a nice plus up the double with 8 pounds. Thanks for all your hard work. The Sanders is $1.55 million cap hit in the final year of that contract. That is pretty good. 81 games, 11 goals, 20 to 31 points. So we'll see what happens with that. If he ends up being a great chance of flying for him, but played 8 goals, 39 assists for 47 points. Here's him having a party at that cap hit, to be honest. Then Aaron Mann, 44 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points. It's just the year when Aaron Mann on face-off. We'll see. And then you've got Jason and Hall, running against your bonus too. And they're definitely one of these players who are going to try and do the spot in that top 6. They can win, the better. They will be on the race. Correct. Good game to watch here because good ability to make the team. I think think we push somebody out of the top six. Unless Anderson won the competition. Then you got Chris Davis. Chris Davis is a very good prospect as well. Check that's up. 4-8, 6-2 Anderson being on the trade block makes some sense if you're playing. And if they're not concerned making the playoffs this year, so you thought the game was just Puerto Rico, they don't have to replace Anderson with another center. They'd be able to use that depth to your advantage. I think that's correct. So when we have fun, we've got it in the game, and that's pretty good. So we'll see what they're doing. And then his next, he did really just as good as Anderson. 2026 is a restricted trade year. He's going to get paid 29, 16, and 8 record this past year to 9, 10, 8 percentage. He is the reason they stayed under the ball. With our play well, dude, he really was the put up the results and kept us in the running for that playoff spot. Now, the backup spot, they signed Postacott. Postacott played the game over the past season at a record of 2016 and 209 points, 80 percentage. The difference is for that backup spot. And so whoever doesn't win that backup role will, I think, end up getting sent down to the rankings. Unless Postacott has an extra skill set to the rankings, because that's what that's the case. So there are times where goaltender might have that option, player might have that option. So it will be get either of those goaltenders to back up. So it's really the Postacott is to get enough teams to avoid burning out just the ball. That's the one concern I have with the position today. So they're both playing like 6 out of every 7 games. Are we going to see like someone playing back-to-back wins? It really could depend on what they do with their roster. If Anderson's having to go out and if they go with youth and prospects and draft picks for then maybe then you play your backup more because you're going to be out of the playoffs anyway, kind of thing. So it just gets Al and Anderson or having take place. Could have taken place. I think that's what you. I think Anderson's very likely to get dealt. I'm less convinced when Cabbage is going to get dealt because he is their number 1 center. Yes, his trade value is pretty high right now compared to the season with prior to the draft. But what would they get back for him and what would that look like? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you actually know if that's so already. Thank you guys so much for watching. The support is greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again.
Hey, Protection. With Bears, you get paint stains and primers at everyday low prices. Plus, they
The lowest 4 pounds, shadows in the forest, Massachusetts is packed with spinach silver. Today we'll bring 12 six legends back to life. Number 1, the Dover Team. In April of 1977, the quiet town of Dover, Massachusetts, became the center of a strange and chilling experience. Over just 2 nights, 3 teenagers reported seeing the same bizarre creature along the side of the road. A small, hairless figure with glowing orange eyes and long, thin fingers. Each of the sightings happened in different parts of town, yet the descriptions matched almost exactly. The teens described the creature as standing about 3 feet tall, with a large head, no mouth, and nose, and skin that looked rough and pale like sandpaper. It didn't look like any animal they'd ever seen before. Some said it seemed almost curious, just standing near the road, or vanishing into the woods. What scared everyone most was that each team told their stories separately, with no chance to look at one another. News spread fast, and the creature became known as the Dover Demon. Police and local experts investigated, but no one could explain what the demon had seen. Some blamed wild animals. Today, people still wonder if the Dover Demon was something paranormal, an alien visitor, or something that lives deep in the woods,
vision of the world. Some locals claim they've seen it again since then, though nothing has ever been proven. The mystery remains unsolved, and late at night, drivers in Dover still glance into the trees, just in case those glowing eyes return. Number 2. The Fortunes of New England. Long before Massachusetts became a part of the United States, the Wampanoag people told stories of small, mischievous creatures living deep in the forests, the Puckwudgies. These beings were said to stand about 2 or 3 feet tall, with gray skin, large noses, and spiky backs. Though they looked a little funny, they were far from friendly. At first, the Puckwudgies were seen as helpful spirits, but over time, the legends say they turned mean and dangerous. They began playing cruel tricks, leading people off trail, stealing small items, and even causing travelers to fall or get lost. Some tales go even further, saying Puckwudgies could vanish into thin air, or shoot glowing magic from their hands when angry. One of the most haunted areas for Puckwudgie sightings is the Freetown Fall River State Forest in southeastern Massachusetts. Hikers and visitors there have reported strange voices, unexplained bushes, and tiny shadowy figures darting between trees. Some believe these encounters are the work of the Puckwudgie still protecting their ancient land. Whether they are protectors, tricksters, or something more sinister, the legend of the Puckwudgies has lasted for generations. Today, they remain one of the most talked about pieces of New England folklore. And if you ever walk too far into the woods and hear giggles with no one around, you just might be on the trail. Number 3, the red-headed hitchhiker of Route 44. Along the dark stretches of Route 44 near Rehoboth, Massachusetts, many drivers have reported chilling encounters with a mysterious man. He's always the same, tall, with messy red hair and scruffy red beard, wearing a plaid flannel shirt and dark boots. Some say he appears as a hitchhiker by the roadside. Others claim he suddenly shows up in the back seat without warning, staring silently. The first sightings began decades ago, and the stories haven't changed much since. People say the red-headed man doesn't speak at first. He just stares, with eyes that seem too dark and empty. Then sometimes he starts laughing. A strange, echoing laugh that sends shivers down their spine. And just as suddenly as he appears, he vanishes without a trace. The strange thing is, no one knows who this man really was. Some believe he was killed on that stretch of highway long ago, possibly in a hit and run that was never solved. Others think it's just a trick of the mind, a ghost born from fear in the lonely feel of the road. But too many people have told the same story over the years for it to be ignored or forgotten. Today, Route 44 still carries cars through the forests and quiet towns of southeastern Massachusetts, and the legend of the red-headed hitchhiker rides with them. Some travelers even leave their back seats empty, just in case he decides to take a ride through the night. Number 4, Gloucester Surf. Back in the early 1800s, fishermen off the coast of Gloucester, Massachusetts, began reporting something unusual in the water. They said it looked like a giant sea serpent, over 8 feet long, with a dark body that moved like a snake and a head shaped like a turtle. At first, no one believed them, until more and more people came forward with the exact same story. In 1817, the sightings became so common that even the Linnean Society of New England simply moved to investigate. Eyewitnesses sketched what they saw, and the drawings from all looked alike, showing the creature no one could identify. One sailor said the serpent raised his head high out of the water and moved with the speed of a fast boat. Some even claimed they saw baby sea serpents swimming alongside him like a hidden family from the deep. Despite all the attention, no one was able to capture a photograph of the serpent, and its true identity remains a mystery. Some thought it was a giant eel or an unknown species of marine animal. Others were convinced it was a legend come to life, a sea monster from old sailor tales, hiding in the cold, deep waters of the Atlantic near the Massachusetts coast. Even today, reports of strange shapes in the water still come in from time to time. Whether it was a real creature, a trick of the waves, or something else entirely, the Gloucester sea serpent remains one of New England's most exciting and mysterious legends. A ghost of the sea, still lurking just beneath the surface. Number 5. The Lake in Black in Fort Warren. On Georgia's island, his wife, Melanie, made a daring journey north to rescue him, disguising himself as a man and sneaking into the fort with a pistol in his plan. Sadly, the plan didn't work. Melanie was captured during the escape and sentenced to death. Her final request: that she be hanged in a woman's dress, not in the clothes she had used to sneak in. The soldiers did not have to be dressing, made one from black fabric, and so she was executed, dressed in black, and buried on the island.
Intelligence spices. Every single this is delicious and spicy. It's the irresistible, hell, spicy. Yeah, it's got a global pattern. And I think it's something about all of the things. Have you heard about them?
After the death, everything began to happen. Soldiers claimed to see a shadowy figure in a long black dress, wandering the halls of the fort at night. Unexplained footsteps echoed through the corridors, and guards often reported feeling cold chills and seeing doors slammed without pause. Some even said they heard a woman softly weeping, though no one could find the source. Today, the Lady in Black is one of Boston's most famous ghost buildings. Fort Warren is now a historic site open to visitors, and many have planned to feel her presence, or even catch a glimpse of her near the old prison cells. Her story is a symbol of bravery, loss, and the deep echoes that history leaves behind. Number 6. The Beast of True. In the fall of 1981, the quiet town of Truro, Massachusetts, was shaken by a string of strange and frightening events. Something was attacking pets and livestock in the area, especially in the night. Animals were found torn apart with unusual bite marks, and no one could figure out what kind of creature had done it. Locals began whispering about a beast on the loose, stalking the woods and backyards of Cape Cod. What made things stranger was that some witnesses claimed to have seen the creature. They described it as large, cat-like, and fast, too big to be a regular house cat. but not quite like a mountain lion either. Some thought it might be an escaped exotic animal. Others believed it could be something else entirely, something that had never been seen before on the cave. Despite efforts to track it down, the creature was never captured. Officials found prints in the dirt that didn't match any known local species. The attacks eventually stopped, but the fear and mystery lingered. Newspapers called it the beast of Kruger, and for weeks, people were too scared to let their pets outside at night. Over time, the legend grew. Some believe the beast still roams the forest and news the Kruger, keeping to the shadows, while others think it may return one day. Whether it was a rogue predator, a once-land visitor, or something much stranger, the beast of Truro remains one of Massachusetts' most puzzling and thrilling legends. Number 7. The Hoosac Tunnel. Deep in the Berkshire Mountains of western Massachusetts lies the Hoosac Tunnel, a nearly 5-mile-long passage carved in solid rock. Built in the mid-1800s, the project was one of the most ambitious of its time, but it quickly gained a terrifying impact, the Bloody Pit. Over the decades it took to complete, almost 200 workers died in accidents, explosions, and collapses. One of the worst disasters happened in 1867, when an explosion trapped 13 men deep inside the tunnel. Rescuers assumed they had died instantly, but months later, when the bodies were finally recovered, it was clear they had survived for some time before running out of air. That tragedy cast a long shadow over the tunnel, and many believe it left behind more than sorrow. Soon, strange things began happening. Workers refused to enter certain parts of the tunnel after hearing voices or footsteps in the darkness. Cold winds rushed through sealed areas. Some even claimed to see ghostly figures staring at them from deep within the shadows. The tunnel earned a reputation not just as a deadly place, but as a haunted one. Today, the Hoosac Tunnel is still in use by train, but its history hasn't been forgotten. Rail workers and explorers who visit the site still report eerie feelings and unexplained sounds. The Bloody Pit remains one of the most haunted experiences in New England, where echoes of the past seem to whisper through the stone. Number 8. The Ghosts of King's Chapel, Burying Ground. In the heart of downtown Boston stands one of the city's oldest and most historic cemeteries, King's Chapel Burying Ground, founded in 1630. It's the final resting place for many important figures from colonial times, including John Winthrop, Massachusetts' first governor. But while the graveyard is famous for its history, it's also known for something far more chilling. For centuries, visitors have reported ghostly sightings among the prominent headstones. One of the most famous spirits is believed to be that of a woman in old-fashioned clothing, seen walking slowly through the grave before vanishing near the chapel wall. Others have heard whispers, disembodied footsteps, and even strange knocks echoing through the ground. Some believe these hauntings may be linked to the fact that many graves were old, disturbed, or misidentified during centuries of construction and renovation in Boston. It's said that not all the spirits found peace, and that some now wander restlessly through the ground, unwilling to be forgotten. Even today, King's Chapel Burying Ground draws ghost hunters, tourists, and curious folks. It remains one of the most haunted places in Massachusetts, a quiet and eerie corner of a bustling city, where the past quiet town of Pembroke, Massachusetts, a strange tale emerged during the 19th scant and stared at them with glowing eyes before slipping back into the dark water without a sound. The news traveled fast. Some dismissed it as a prank, but others remembered older stories. Whispers passed down from earlier generations, who also saw strange shapes in the lake, or heard eerie splashes when no one was around. The idea that something odd might be living in Silver Lake began to take hold of the town's imagination, especially among those who lived close to the water. In the years that followed, the legend only grew. Some people came out at night with flashlights and cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of the creature. A few even claimed to see movement beneath the surface, or spotted strange ripples when the lake was still. Although no solid proof ever surfaced, the feeling that something was there never quite disappeared. Today, the Silver Lake Frog Monster remains one of Massachusetts' most unique cryptid stories. Whether it was a misidentified animal, a local prank, or something truly unknown, the tale still echoes across the lake's surface. It reminds us that some mysteries don't fade. They glisten just below the water. Number 10. The Ghost of Jerusha Howe. Longfellow's Wayside Inn in Sudbury, Massachusetts, is one of the oldest working inns in the country, and is said to be home to a very gentle ghost. Her name is Jerusha Howe, a young woman who lived at the inn in the early 1800s. She was known for her charm, her elegant manners, and her beautiful piano playing. Legend says she fell deeply in love with a traveler who promised to return, but never did. After her heart was broken, Jerusha faded into sadness and died young. But according to many, her spirit never left the inn. Guests who stay in room 9, once believed to be her room, often report strange events, footsteps in the hallway, soft knocks at the door, cold spots, and the feeling of someone watching quietly from the corner. Some visitors have said they heard piano music drifting through the halls late at night, even when no one was near the organ. Others have seen shadows glide by, or a figure in a long dress on the stairs. Even the inn staff have shared unusual experiences, especially with Jerusha's women. Unlike many haunted stories, Jerusha's presence isn't frightening. Her ghost is known for being quiet and sad, more curious than scary. Longfellow's Wayside Inn is proud of her memory, and today, people come from all over to stay in room 9, not to be scared, but to feel that touch of history, heartbreak, and mystery that Jerusha left behind. Number 11. The Curse of Giles Ford. In the heart of Salem, Massachusetts, during the infamous witch trials of 1692, a farmer named Giles Ford stood firm against the madness sweeping the town. Accused of witchcraft, Ford refused to plead guilty or innocent, knowing either choice would lead to the loss of his land. Instead, he chose silence. In response, the court used a brutal form of punishment. They pressed him with heavy stones before he freed. For 2 long days, Ford lay on the ground as more stones were added, yet he never gave in. With his last breath, he is said to have muttered a chilling curse, more weight. But according to legend, He also cursed the town of Salem, the sheriff, warning that misfortune could follow anyone who held that position. It didn't take long for strange events to begin. Since then, people have claimed to see giant holy ghosts walking through the old cemetery or the ruins near Howard Street, where he died. What's more, several sheriffs of Essex County throughout the years have resigned or suffering from heart problems or sudden illness, just like the sheriff during Corey's time. Some believe this eerie pattern is part of the curse that still lingers. Even today, the story of Brown's Corey is shared during tours of Salem. Some say his spirit appears just before a disaster strikes the town. Whether it's a real curse or a lesson from history, his final words of fearless stand have echoed through the centuries and still haunt the streets of Salem. Number 12. The Phantom of Jenny Lind Town.
Perfect for family showcasing.
High on a windswept hill in Truro, Massachusetts, stands the lonely Jenny Lind Tower, a stone structure with a mysterious past. The tower was named after Jenny Lind, a famous Swedish opera singer from the 1800s. Although she never visited this particular site, her name stuck to the structure, which had been moved from its original location to the top of a cliff near Highland Land. But over time, the tale became one of the phantom voice drifting through the night. Locals began to share stories of strange sounds coming from the tower after dark. Some claimed to hear haunted music, as if a woman's voice was singing softly from it. Visitors climbing the tower of dust described the eerie feeling of being watched, or the sudden chill in the air, even during warm summertime. Some believe the ghosts may belong to a woman who once loved music deeply and died tragically nearby. Others think the tower simply carries echoes of forgotten performances or the spirit of someone longing for purity. No matter the reason, the legend continues to grow in human county. Today, the Jenny Lind Tower remains quiet but haunting spot along the Cape Cod coast. People still hike up to see the structure, and some come just to listen. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's hard to stand near the tower at twilight and not feel the weight of something mysterious in the air. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.
So, there's a video going around that I think is really, really cool. This was posted onto the Bar Down Twitter account, and it goes over Philadelphia Flyers young star, Matvey Mishkov, and how he couldn't believe it the first time he got asked to dump and chase. The clip has some captions, so we are able to read along here. Mishkov says, so you're just supposed to dump it in, cross the line, rim it around the boards, and then charge into the end zone to try to fight for the puck once again. First time I heard that, I was like, what? What? You gotta do that? You gotta lose possession of the puck? But I was like, yeah, sure. Then I'd hit the ice and still kind of do my own thing. I'm not a fan of dump and chase. You're ever going to win that puck back, Mishkov says in this video clip. First off, There's no guarantee you're going to even win the puck back. Second, it's exhausting hockey. You burn so much energy battling for the puck that you've got nothing left for the actual attack. For me, it's way better to gain the zone with control, keep the puck, and actually set up a solid scoring chance. That's how I see it, Mishkov says. And this is absolutely hilarious. Not because Mishkov is necessarily wrong or because he's right in his assessment. His perspective is very Russian, I will say. If y'all ever looked at some documentaries about the Red Army Soviet team back in the 70s and 80s and stuff, this is kind of how they played. They didn't like to dump it and chase. They always wanted to maintain possession. So if there was no appropriate lane for entry into the offensive zone, guess what? They wouldn't dump it in. They pass it back to the D, cycle it back into their own zone, kind of rag it a little bit, and then they restart the break-in and try to find another opportunity from there. It was very frustrating to play against the Soviets because they did not like to give up possession of the puck. It's a very old Soviet/Russian perspective to have, where it's like, no, we're not going to dump and chase. We only want to have a possession-based hockey game. And the reason this is interesting is because of a reply from one Dan Reed show here on Twitter, Canucks Central, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Monday to Friday on Sportsnet 650. He goes out there and asks, I wonder how Mishkov is going to get on with Coach Tocchet. And my friend, that is the million-dollar question. And it is exactly what I said was going to be the problem when Rick Tocchet was hired by the Philadelphia Flyers. It's not necessarily that Tocchet is a terrible coach that doesn't bring anything out of anybody, but it's that Tocchet has a very particular style that doesn't go well with very particular kinds of players. And Mishkov is one of those dudes. Tocchet hockey is dump and chase hockey. Tocchet hockey is, if you do end up finding yourself breaking into the offensive zone, and when you're playing Tocchet hockey, if you actually find yourself an open opportunity to get into the offensive zone without dumping it in, Tocchet hockey wants you to circle back around the goal line, pass it back to the D, go D to D, and then the D will take a shot that gets blocked and then it goes the other way. There is a very particular formula that Rick Tocchet loves to play with all of his lines all of the time. And only specific guys like JT Miller, for example, have the wherewithal to adjust to this system and actually create offense with it in play. Quinn Hughes could create offense with this system because guess what? The puck's coming to him every opportunity. Every time in the offensive zone, Quinn Hughes gets the puck, he throws it on goal, gets tipped by Brock or Jake DeBrusk, and then it's a goal. That's how Tocchet hockey creates its offense, and there will be a lot of rebounds, a lot of net front presence goals. Rarely will you see Tocchet give the go-ahead. You just walk right in and Dixie Doodle dangle your way to the front of the goal and take a shot and score like a Zegras or a Mishkov can. These guys do not play the style of hockey that Tocchet likes. There will be very particular players that excel under a Rick Tocchet system. We had seen that in Vancouver. Drew O'Connor, Dakota Joshua, JT Miller, Connor Garland. These guys are all dogs. These guys are all players who play with hard forechecking. These guys are physical. These guys have don't back down attitudes. These guys are not skill guys. These guys are dogs. And I'm sorry, but Trevor Zegras and Matvei Mishkov, the way these guys play, they don't play that dog-style hockey. So I very much question how Mishkov and Trevor Zegras will do under Rick Tocchet as a head coach. This is why I had doubts. I think that certain players will do very well under Tocchet. Like, head over to the Philadelphia Flyers and their lines. Just take a look at who it is that they have. I mean, Travis Konechny is a name right away, in my opinion, that will do very well under Rick Tocchet. Noah Cates, I think, has a lot of potential in a Tocchet system. So does Christian Dvorak, Nick Delorier. You might actually get yourselves some production out of Delorier and Garnet Hathaway with the way Rick Tocchet likes to see these guys forecheck. There is a very particular style of hockey that Tocchet plays, and it does not bode well for skill guys like Mishkov and Zagreus. We saw it in Vancouver. We saw it with Andrei Kuzmenko. We saw it with Elias Pettersson and Daniel Sprong. Skill guys don't have the best time under Rick Tocchet. Let's go out there and read some of the replies to this tweet. Tocchet is the most overrated coach in the league. I don't know why league consecutive things out there. We're not going to read that. Mishkov is correct. Why dump and chase? He better start learning dumping innings. Wait till he hears Rick explain that shooting less is better. And yeah, you know what? It was so interesting how the Rick Tocchet system would eventually culminate with the Canucks having like 15 shots a game. It was so frustrating to see, especially with the talent pool that these Vancouver Canucks teams have. Sure, there was an entire conflict between two of the top players on the team, which led to a lot of the rift and disalignment with the way the team played, but still, Rick Tocchet is a coach whose overall record in the NHL has not been great outside of one Vancouver Canucks standout season. Every other year in Phoenix, the other season in Vancouver, it's been bad for Tocchet. So I am personally quite pessimistic with the way he's going to be able to coach and form this Flyers team into an offensive juggernaut like some people think they're going to be. Like, maybe I am just the biggest Rick Tocchet hater on the planet at this point because of the way he decided to quit on the Vancouver Canucks and the style of hockey in which he portrayed, and how a lot of these Canucks folks just could not get it going under a very hyper-focused, specific Tocchet system where he wanted to reframe the way Elias Pettersson thought the game. There is so much to be upset about as a Vancouver Canucks fan. But for the Philadelphia Flyers, it's going to be this group of guys now. And I have no doubt that some of them will do very well with Tocchet as their guy. I just don't know about some of the top stars. Like, everybody's getting so excited about Zagreus, and Mishkov, of course, has a big future ahead of him. But I strongly doubt that Tocchet is the guy to be able to bring out the best out of these players, and that these players are going to like the system that they play. I don't know, man. Go into your thoughts in the comment section below. How is Mishkov going to get on with Rick Tocchet? Do you think this is a good fit? I think it's not. Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this little actual sign on. It's not hard.
In the dark, silent forests of Alaska, where the trees stand tall and the shadows grow thick, the Otna people of Alaska tell of mysterious figures who live at the edge of sight, the shadow people. Number 1. Otna's shadow people. Known for their ability to move silently and blend seamlessly with the night, these beings are said to live on the border between worlds, flickering at the edge of vision, yet vanishing the moment one tries to look directly at them. They are elusive, haunting presences that spark both fear and fascination in those who see them. The Otna's shadow people are unlike other mythical beings. They have no form that can be easily described, no face anyone can recall. Instead, they appear as shadows, shapes darker than the night around, drifting through the forest with a ghostly grace. It is said that they keep to the edges of human self, watching from afar, but seldom coming close. Hunters and travelers often report an uneasy feeling in these regions, a sense of eyes trailing, from being watched by invisible beings that remain out of reach. For the honest people, the shadow people are not just shadows but spirits. Beings tied close and maintain the balance of nature. Though they are rarely hostile, the shadow people must not be approached or bothered. To do so, the legend warn, is to invite bad fortune, so they do not welcome disturbance. In the old tales, shamans were said to be able to speak with the shadow people, entering a dreamlike state that helped them see these figures more clearly. It was through these rare and solemn moments that the Atma learned to respect the beings of the night, to honor the hidden, walked-in dreams of forests where the shadow people roam. Even now, some believe that the shaman spirits still roam with the shadow people, bound forever to the dark edges of the forest. As the night settles over the Alaskan forest, the lines between fact and legend blur. Those who dare go into the woods at twilight know they are stepping into a place where the shadow people exist, a realm where the ordinary means of sight and sound no longer apply. Number 2. Kuchaka. In the fog-covered wilderness of Alaska, where the land meets the icy ocean, an old legend whispers through the trees. The Tlingit people, native to this tough yet beautiful region, speak of a creature known as the Kuchaka. Many tales speak of the Kuchaka lurking near the shoreline, waiting for fishermen and travelers to lose their way. It imitates the cries of children or loved ones, pulling people deeper into the wilderness, away from safety. As they follow the haunting sound, they become more lost, disoriented, until they disappear into the cold waters or the thick forests. Those who vanish are never seen again. But the Kushtaka was not always the message of death. In some stories, the creature feels sorry for those who flee. When people are desperately lost in the wilderness, the Kushtaka appears, offering warmth, guidance. It may turn into a friend or family member, leading them to safety. Some believe it can even rescue those who are drowning, carrying them to shore where not without a cost. Legend says that shamans and the Tlingit people knew how to protect themselves from the Kuchaka. They held talismans and used ancient rituals to ward off the creature's tricks. The tales of the Kuchaka keep changing, passed down through generations, growing the mystery of power. Hikers and explorers in Alaska today still talk about odd happenings, the creepy sense of being watched, strange noises echoing in the forest, the sight of an otter that seems just a bit too human. Perhaps in the end, the Kuchaka reflects the spirit of Alaska itself, a place where nature rules, where survival is never certain, and where the line between myth and truth is as fluid as the time.
August 1st, something like that. Another two. As you served 20 years for massive after you mean man for it. I should have quite the joke.
Number 3, Advent. In the frozen expanse of Alaska, where staying alive begins a constant fight, there is a legend that sends chills down the spines of those who dare to hear it. The Inuit people speak of the Advent, a creature born from the union of a human and a dog. It roams the country, part man, part beast, with a thirst for blood that can never be satisfied. The legend begins with an Inuit woman who, for reasons lost to time, takes a dog as her mate. This strange union leads to the birth of 10 children. 5 resemble their father, dog-like and fierce, and 5 look more human, filled with a cruel, wild nature. The Advent grows into brutal hunting. Their dog instincts drive them to attack the meat, while their human cunning makes them almost impossible to trick. The skilled hunters fear the Advent more than anything. Some legends speak of lone Advent, cast out from their past, wandering as wild in search of revenge or a twisted kind of healing. Inuit shamans, known for their close bond with the spirit world, were said to have special ways of handling the Advent. Through rituals and offerings, they could sometimes calm the beast. In rare cases, a shaman might even talk with an Advent, though such meetings were filled with danger. Today, stories still exist of eerie sightings. Big, dog-like figures rushing across the country, always just out of sight, but never far enough to be forgotten. In the severe and unforgiving land of Alaska, where survival is never certain, the Advent serves as a warning, straight and far from kindness, and you may lose yourself to the wild, forever taken by the savage instincts hidden within. So, as the wind howls over the icy land, and the snow falls in heavy, silent drifts, remember the Advent. It might be just a story to some, but in the heart of Alaska, where the wild things wander, legends often become real. Number 4, the Givers. In the icy waters off the coast of Alaska, where the ocean's depths remain dark and mysterious, there is a legend that has haunted sailors and coastal communities for generations. The creature known as Tijaru, a massive sea serpent with a long, snake-like body, is said to dwell in frigid depths, waiting patiently beneath the surface. It moves silently through the water, unseen and ever present. Stories of the Tijaru have been passed down by the Inuit and other coastal peoples who live in close connection with the sea. Fishermen speak of strange sightings, ripples in the water where no fish swim, large shadows moving just beneath the surface. One of the most chilling aspects of the Tijaru is its stealth. Unlike other sea monsters of legend, the Tijaru does not scratch or roar. It strikes swiftly, silently, without warning. The people it drags into the sea are said to disappear without a sound. Their last moments in full blur as the water closes over them. Inuit shamans have long warned of the dangers of crossing into the of respect. They performed rituals and carried charms to protect themselves from the creature's wrath. According to tradition, there are ways to appease the serpent, offering for fish or symbolic gestures to show humility in the face of the ocean's power. Despite the warnings, the legend of the Tijaruk continues to draw people toward the sea. The lure of the unknown, the desire to confront what lies beneath the surface, is too strong for some to resist. Adventurers and explorers still seek to glimpse the creature, hoping to prove its existence or capture evidence of its terrifying form. But the sea is vast, and the Tijaruk is elusive, always slipping away just as discovery seems near. Number 5. Kiwi. In the long, dark nights of the Alaskan wilderness, where the only light comes from the stars and the glow of the moon, there is a legend that fills the air with unease. It tells of a creature called the Kiwi, a ghostly, hairless dog that roams in frozen lands in search of prey. But unlike other predators of the night, the Kiwi does not hunt for victims. Instead, it hungers for something far more precious, the source of the victim. According to the stories passed down by the Inuit people, the Kiwi appears without warning, often in the dead of night, when the cold is at its most unforgiving. Its presence from the dark side, a harbinger of doom for those who encounter it. It is said that once the Kiwi has been seen, death will follow swiftly upon it. Whether it's illness, an accident, or some other misfortune, the Kiwi's appearance is never just a passing coincidence. It comes with purpose. What makes the Kiwi truly terrifying is its connection to the spiritual world. Unlike other legendary creatures that exist in the physical realm, the Kiwi is believed to cross the boundary between life and death. It is said to feed on souls, drawing strength from the life force of its victim as they pass from this world to the next. While many fear the Kiwi for its deadly nature, there are those who believe the creature serves a great purpose. Some in the legend suggest that the Kiwi acts as a guide, leading lost souls into the afterlife. In these stories, the creature is not evil, but rather a necessary part of the cycle of life. Still, even in this role, the Kiwi is not a creature to be welcomed. Its presence means that someone's time has run out, and no charm or ritual can stop it once it has chosen its prey. Nowadays, the legend of the Kiwi persists, a reminder of the thin line between the living and the dead in the harsh Alaskan wilderness. Those who know the old stories still whisper of its appearance, especially during the long winter months when the darkness seems to stretch on forever. Not far behind. Number 6. Colorful. In the cold, dark waters off the coast of Alaska, where the ocean stretches endlessly into wavy crash against sharp rocks, there exists a legend that has haunted coastal villages for ages. It is the tale of the Kalupali, a sinister aquatic creature that stalks young Larry who wanders too near the shore. With green, sickly skin and nails as long and sharp as fishhooks. The Kalupalik's appearance is nothing short of terrifying. Its skin, a pale, naturally green, blends perfectly with the boat's depth, letting it remain unseen by those on shore. According to the legend, the Kalupalik holds a certain power to draw people to their kingdom. It does not rush out of the water in a roar. Instead, it comes a soft, eerie tune, a sound that floats through the air like a whisper on the breeze. This humming, both lovely and unsettling, is said to entrance those who hear it. The young, the lost, and the lonely are especially at risk, bewitched by the song before they realize what's happening. Stories of the Kalupalik have served as warnings to children in Inuit communities for generations. Parents tell their little ones to stay far from the shore, especially at dusk, when the creature is most likely to show itself. The eerie tale of the Kalupalik aims to teach a deep respect for the sea, reminding children that the ocean, though beautiful, holds dangers beyond their understanding. Even the bravest are told to avoid the shore when the water is quiet, for it is in that stillness that the Kalupalik's tune is heard most clearly. Fishermen talk of seeing green-skinned figures slipping under the waves just out of sight, or of hearing a haunting hum that makes their skin crawl. Some claim to have found tracks near the shore, clawed and webbed footprints leading to the water's edge, baiting the sea. Such moments, though short, keep the legend alive. The legend of the Kalupalik endures, passed along by those who live closest to the cold Alaskan waters. Number 7. 1. Vast coastal expanses of the Arctic, where the snow-covered mountains stand untouched, and the land stretches as far as the eye can see, there exists an ancient tale of the Hornet. Known as a race of giants, the Hornet once lived freely across the Alaskan wilderness, a towering being in strength unmatched by any human. But their story is one of loss, exile, and a bitter retreat to hiding. It's said that the Hornet were forced from their lands by the Inuit people and now roam the remote reaches of the wilderness, always watching, forever on the edge of something. Legend describes the point. Cowards, nearly twice the size of the ordinary human, with massive hands, feet that left unmistakable prints in them. Their strength was present and fearsome, allowing them to hunt and move across the Arctic landscape in peace. The relationship between the hornet and the Indian is once peaceful. According to ancient tales, the two groups shared the night, respecting each other's rights. The Indians would hunt and fish, while the hornet roamed the wilderness, living off it. The peace was fragile. Over time, misunderstanding and mistrust grew between them. One fateful day, legend tells of a dispute that escalated into violence. The story goes that an Inuit hunter borrowed a tool and torrent without asking, an act that, in the world of the torrent, was seen as a terrible insult. Furious, the torrent confronted the Inuit, and in the conflict that followed, everything changed. The event marked a turning point, and from that day on, hostilities between the two. Still comes the way placed into a few bare shells. Hunters sometimes speak of seeing enormous cracks in the snow, prints so large they defy explanation. The tortoise has become elusive shadows, staying outside the deep traces of their existence. Reminders that they are not true intent.
The food cabbage are all recycled food, with lots of water, compost, and zero food waste. But it's really bad to get attention to moderation. What's not really attention is the different options.
hibernate, amaranth. In the icy wilderness of Alaska, where the mountains rise tall and nights stretch long and dark, there is a legend that moves in silence, the amaranth. Unlike ordinary bullets, this giant of the Arctic comes alone, with shadows slipping through the snow-covered forest and tundra with no companions by its side. The amaranth is no ordinary. It stands as tall as a peak, with eyes that seem to pierce the soul. To those who cross its path, it is both a fearsome predator and a spiritual guide, a being of mystery that lives on the edge between the natural and the supernatural. The Indians who have long lived in the heart of this frozen speak of the amaranth with both fear and respect. It is said, amaranth does not hunt simply out of company, but also to test anyone brave or foolish enough to wander to its territory. Its strength, speed, and cleverness are unmatched, and it moves like a ghost, taken to the village. According to legend, amaranth appears to those who travel alone, especially those who get lost and unsure. It is said that the creature searches for people facing challenges from doubt, testing their courage and resolve. If someone manages to stand firm, the amaranth may choose not to hurt. Instead, it is believed to offer their gift, a secret hidden truth and guidance that will help them face life's hardships. The Inuit shamans are said to understand the amaranth's importance more than most. In their visions, they call on the spirit of the giant wolf, seeking its counsel in times of crisis. To the shaman, the amaranth is not just a physical creature, but one that walks between the worlds, a message from the spirit realm that walks through the rhythm. Through rituals and chants, they connect with the amaranth, honoring it as a source of power and wisdom. The amaranth remains one of Alaska's most lasting legends, a creature that shows the raw, untamed force of the natural world. So, if you ever find yourself walking through the frozen forest or the lonely tundra of Alaska, listen closely. The soft crunch of snow, the whisper of the wind, these might be signs that the amaranth is near. Number 9. Mountain Up. Deep in the dense, shadowed forests of Alaska, where the trees grow thin and the mountains rise steep, there is a legend that inspires both fear and wonder. The creature known as Mountain, also called the Carrier, is Alaskan and unpredictable, with its large arms, more piercing, and filled with morbidity. Unlike its counterparts in the lower 48, Mountain is said to have an aggression that matches the wide, unforgiving land it calls home. The stories of Mountain are passed down by the indigenous Alaskan tribes and warn against wandering into the forest alone. Unlike the Sasquatch legend included in other parts of North America, encounters with Mountain are often talked about in hostility. Hunters know it can be driven from such unpleasant. Their fists tossed around as if by invisible hands. could find the unmistakable signs of its presence. Massive footprints pressed into the forest floor. Long arches to be trunks, and a hunting, muscle strands that hangs in the air long after something is gone. Those who have close encounters say they feel an overpowering sense of dread, as if the creature's mere presence gives off an aura of menace. One of the most unsettling traits linked to mountain life is its apparent skill at watching its prey without being seen. Many claim that the creature can slip through the forest noiselessly, leaving no trace as it circles the reserves, waiting for the right moment to show itself. Legends from entire hunting party vanish without a trace. Their host remains scattered along footprints of large branches. The elders of the tribes say that Mackinac fiercely guards his territory, and that those who stray close to his domain risk more than just their lives. They risk awakening the wrath of the inheritance. Some brave souls, drawn by the legend of Mackinac, head into the forest, only to catch a glimpse of the future. They bring gifts, battle, peace, and as offers to the inheritance. But even these acts of respect do not always provide safety. In the past, the legend of Mackinac remains as strong as the towering trees of its forest. Hunters, hikers, and locals all know to respect the hidden boundaries of Mackinac realm. The creature has become a symbol of the raw, untamed power of the landscape itself. A reminder that the building
continues.
is in which we have it for the